The following program may contain coarse language, violence, nudity, mature subject matter, or scenes which may not be suitable for all viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back, everyone. It is a new day here in the X Zone. It is now April the 6th, 2023. And I am Rob McConnell, coming to you from our broadcast center and studios in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. If you'd like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com or Mr. X at xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media sites, X Zone Radio TV. And we're being brought to you tonight by the good people at Beautiful Mind Coffee. It's coffee that your brain will truly love, but it's just not coffee. It's actually brainlicious. Visit www.beautifulmindcoffee.ca. This hour, we're talking about my favorite topic, angels. And joining us now from Prince Edward Island is the one and only angel lady herself, Karen Forrest. And Karen, welcome back to the X Zone. Good to see you without a hurricane blaring in the background.
That's right. It's so nice. At least it's just a little bit of snow, even though it's April, but better than a hurricane.
You know, you've got snow. My dad lives in Montreal, and God bless him, he's 95 years young. And he was, I was driving around prior to getting to the studio today, doing some chores for my wife. And I heard about this severe freezing rainstorm that was hitting southwestern Quebec where he lives. And I was really concerned, pulled the car over, talked to my dad, and he says, everything's fine here. So thanks for calling, son. You're an angel. I said, no, Dad, I'm not an angel. I'm just your son. So there you go. Coincidence. Dad called me an angel. I've got the angel lady on this morning. So thank you so much, Karen. It's always great talking to you. Now, for our listeners and viewers who haven't had the opportunity of hearing you in the past, tell us a little bit about yourself and your voyage, your quest, your crusade into becoming the angel lady.
The angel lady, yeah. My autobiography, Angel Lady of the Maritimes, talks about that because it's interesting for me. I'm not like a third generation psychic. I certainly was not talking to dead people when I was a child. Mm-hmm. And my background is very much in the biological model. I have a bachelor in nursing, and I'm also a retired military nurse. So I went from a military nurse into working with spirituality, doing extensive training and communicating with angels and dead people. So before I left the military, I started extensive training with my spiritual path and doing the work that I do now as a spiritual counselor. But having the background in mental health, I was a mental health nurse, certainly gives me a wonderful skill set that bodes well with my work as a spiritual counselor now, especially when I work with a lot of grieving people, when I'm communicating with the deceased people.
One thing I've learned over the many years, and being married to a nurse myself and having had the opportunity of being invited to many of their after nursing hour events, nurses are very intuitive, very empathic, and they're very, very caring people. Does this help you being the angel lady?
Absolutely, it does, because it means I learned long ago, and certainly as what made me a good mental health nurse was learning from my mental health team, including psychologists. The best thing they taught me is always trust my gut instinct, which I also call divine guidance, but others would call it gut instinct.
So what were you were saying that you were taught by the people that you were working with to trust your gut instinct?
To trust me. Yeah, I remember when I was a first new mental health nurse and a little nervous with my counseling skills and abilities and trusting myself, and constantly, whether I was working with a psychologist, psychiatrist, or social workers, because I worked with a diverse team, they always said, you got to trust your gut. If your gut's telling you something's off, if your gut's telling you this, you got to listen to it and then ask further questions from what your gut's saying. So I've learned anyone, if they're good at what they do, they're trusting their gut instinct.
Where does angels fit into all of this?
Same thing. Angels in my to me is the same thing as your gut instinct. It's just a way of angels getting through messages through your body, through what your gut's telling you. It's to me, it's the same.
Are
That
more and more people having angel communications and contact than they were years ago, thanks to people like you, your books, and your media appearances?
Yeah. I found that people more well, really, what it is people are more open about talking about it. They've always been doing it, but when I started to write my first book, I received so much feedback from people saying, "Oh, now I can talk about it more openly." And then I wrote the second and third and the fourth book because of that, so that it gave a pathway and a venue for people to discuss their own angelic experiences and experiences from receiving messages from angels and their heavenly loved ones. So it's made it easier, including with more TV shows, more talking about it, to make it people more open about talking about their own experiences. And not worrying about being labeled they're crazy, because they still get that. People think I'm crazy, but this has happened, and then they go on and describe their stories.
Yeah. What I hear a lot is, Rob, you're not going to believe this, but
You're not going to believe this, but you might think I'm crazy, but
I've learned a long time ago doing this show that the people who think they're crazy are the real sane ones.
Yeah, the saner ones. That's right. That's right.
When did you have your first angel experience?
Working with angels versus working with dead people is a little bit different. Dead people, communicating with them honestly didn't happen until I started my spiritual training in my late 30s. Angels were different though, because I've always believed in God. I've always believed in angels because of my Catholic upbringing. So even when I was younger, I've always talked to angels on a personal level for myself, asking for help and trusting my God and listening to them, and just always making a commitment to live my life to the life path I'm supposed to, even if I didn't always understand where it's supposed to take me. I do remember one of the first times I felt an angel, and that was in my military career. I was doing a 13K rucksack march, and it was something had to pass for part of my officer training to become a nurse. And I, of course, was determined to pass the course because I wanted to stay in the military and I wanted to be a military nurse. And 13Ks, 13-kilometer rucksack march is not fun for someone like me who's only 5'2", and I'm humping like 50 pounds, my back, combat boots, rifle, and the whole bit. Like, I'm wearing the same kit a man like twice my height and build is going to be doing this exact same thing. So I was trying to get through this stupid march. And towards the end, because I was the slowest person, I'm always the slowest in these marches. But towards the end, I was thinking, oh God, like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. And I suddenly felt this, someone touched my back and kind of pushed me forward. And in the military, you do 13K marches, they often have medics or other people at the back who will help you physically, really kind of give you a little push to get you through the last part if you need some help. So they're not doing the whole march, but they'll help you if you need it. And I thought, oh, good, someone's behind me helping me out. And thankfully, they're not yakking at me, because I'm just trying to focus one step at a time. I don't need someone saying stupid, encouraging words I don't want to hear. But I felt the presence and I felt the pressure on my back, and it literally moved me forward. And then at the end, I turned around to thank the person and thank them for not yakking at me. There's no one there. And then I realized, oh my God, that was an angel helping me. And I didn't even know, because I didn't even have the energy to look around until the end of it and realize there's nobody there.
And that was the start.
That was the start. That was the start, paying far more attention to angel signs and angels around me. Yeah.
Is that an issue that we all face? I mean, those who have what they think might be an angel, is that we don't recognize or are not willing to accept?
Yeah, both. Sometimes people just generally don't recognize it. And I've got stories in all my books talking about how angels can only appear in human form, but then they just suddenly disappear. And you're like, hey, where'd that human go? Well, because there was no human, it was an angel appearing in human form to help you out. And then other times, it's like, I don't think I'm ready to believe this. Certainly for me, I was fine with divine beings. Dead people was another thing. When they started talking to me, I'm like, No, I'm not too sure. I really want to hear this and believe this, and I don't know. I'm not too sure I'm up for this one. So that took me a little bit to warm up to. I just started pretending it was not happening at first. I did. I'm like, I'm not ready for this.
Was that a natural progression for you because of your nursing? And I'm sure that you had to deal with end of life matters with patients. Was that the next step? Actually talking to the dead people?
Talking to dead is part of my work as a counselor to help people through a grieving process and make their lives easier for them when they're grieving. And because it just as a mental health nurse and counseling, I did a tremendous amount of grief healing and therapy with people, that ended up becoming a natural progression. So for example, when I was still in the military, I remember one time I was with one of the soldiers, and he was grieving his father who had recently passed. And I remember feeling and hearing his father, because after about 3 sessions, I was getting familiar with his father's essence and presence from my client talking about him. And I remember in one of the sessions thinking, oh my God, it's like I really feel the man right here. But again, still not open to the thought that could be happening. I'm like, no. And I can hear the guy. I can literally hear his dead father talking, like, no, still not, no, not ready to go there, not doing it. So I just ignored it at first. Wasn't ready, and that's okay. You'll get there when you're ready.
Is there a difference between a dead person and a spirit and a ghost, or are they all the same?
Everyone uses different terminology, but for me, a ghost is a dead person who hasn't crossed over into the afterlife, so they're stuck here on Earth. So their vibrations are pretty low, and they're lost souls that until they cross over, they can't progress. So it's not a good feeling to be around a ghost versus a dead person who's human, died, gone on to the afterlife. They've transitioned over, no problem. Spirit is a vague term, so I don't tend to use it. That can be almost anything. A lot of people use it for dead people, but they can use it for various terms. So I'm really picky with people saying, look, here's what I mean by this term, because I want to be on the same page with the language when I'm communicating with my clients. Because someone could come to me and say, I want an angel reading. Really what they want is medium reading. They want to talk to their dead mom. I'm like, oh, okay, well, they call your dead mom an angel. I don't, but that's okay. As long as I know what your language means, I'll switch over to that.
Karen, we've got to take our first break, and I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. Always a great pleasure talking to you. And once again, thank you very much for your service.
Yes, thank you.
Stand by, Karen. Karen Forrest is our special guest, www.karenforrest.com. And Forrest has 2 R's in it. That's KARENFORREST.com. This is the X Zone. I'm Rob McConnell. We'll be back after this break. Don't go away.
Question: what is the name of the unique blend of coffee you get that has been formulated by a neurologist, a neurobiologist, and a pharmaceutical chemist? Answer: you get Beautiful Mind Coffee, a unique coffee blend that tastes great and has herbal ingredients that your brain will love, and it is not just coffee, it's brainalicious. Dr. Rathbone, Dr. Jang, and Dr. Winslow, the scientific team that created Beautiful Mind Coffee, decided to collaborate on a coffee focusing on brain health. As for those herbal ingredients found in Beautiful Mind Coffee, Dr. Rathbone, Dr. Jang, and Dr. Winslow, utilizing their combined extensive scientific research background, worked with many natural and herbal products until the exact formulation that is found in Beautiful Mind Coffee was created. With a unique scientific formula not found in any other coffee being sold or served, Beautiful Mind Coffee is the only coffee blend that contains 3 herbal ingredients found to aid in boosting your daily mental clarity and focus. Every cup of Beautiful Mind Coffee contains scientifically formulated amounts of maca root powder, green tea extract, and American ginseng, all supporting good brain health. Taking care of your brain's health now can help delay or prevent the onset of cognitive dysfunction, including dementia, Alzheimer's, and more general memory loss as you get older, just by enjoying the delicious flavor of our roasted coffee and herbal ingredients found exclusively in Beautiful Mind Coffee. Did you know that cognitive dysfunction also refers to deficits in attention, verbal and nonverbal learning, short-term and working memory, visual and auditory processing, problem solving, processing speed, and motor functioning? For more on Beautiful Mind Coffee, the 3 scientists who formulated Beautiful Mind Coffee, and more details on the 3 unique herbal ingredients in Beautiful Mind Coffee, visit www.beautifulmindcoffee.ca. Beautiful Mind Coffee is now available online at amazon.ca and amazon.com. To order Beautiful Mind Coffee, visit www.beautifulmindcoffee.ca today.
Welcome back, everyone. Karen Forrest is with us, the Angel Lady. Her website is KarenForrest.com, and Forrest has 2 R's in it, X-Zone Nation. That's KarenForrest.com. Karen, do angels communicate with people and through their dreams?
Yes, absolutely. That's actually pretty common, especially if you're more visual. And part of the reason is that our minds are more relaxed during our dream time. So it's easier to communicate. Where during the day, yeah, good luck trying to get our attention. It's hard. We're busy. I'm busy. It's hard. So both angels and your loved ones in heaven frequently come through in your dream state. Often, especially your loved ones in heaven, people will say, oh, look, I dreamt about the person, but they said nothing. And then they'll call me going, what's the message? What's the message? I'm like, there is none. They came to you looking good to let you know they're okay. That's the message. So you didn't miss anything. You just spent a small fortune for me to tell you there's no, yes, they love you. They're okay. That's what they're conveying. But frequently, if it's a loved one passed on, they're not going to say anything in the dream. All you remember when you wake up is that you saw them and they look good, and you felt peacefulness and love from them. So you feel that, but they don't tend to say anything.
Do those who have died and left this plane, do they always communicate with those that they've left behind?
Yes, they do. Whether or not we're listening is another thing altogether, but they're constantly trying to let you know that they're around you. They're trying to help you. They're guiding you in your life, trying to make your life better for yourself, and just letting you know that they love you and they're okay. So yes, absolutely they are. Yeah, it's just taking the time. So often I tell people, look, you want a message from them, just sit with them for a minute. Just say, okay, Mom who's passed on, I just want to sit with you and hang out for a minute. You're going to feel them. You'll feel their presence around you. But it's hard when we're busy. We're always busy.
I
It's
guess
hard to get it.
I would imagine so. And I've often wondered if all the electronics we have in today's society, if they are a deterrent, or if they actually mask the efforts of those from the other side or who are trying to communicate with us.
No, it's the opposite. Dead people, especially more than angels, but dead people love working with electricity and electronics. They think it's funny. So they're the ones, no, we don't think it's funny. We were sitting going, why is my phone turning on and off? Why is my TV flickering? It's because they're trying to get your attention. And I tell people, whoever you feel at the time or thinking about it at the time, that's the one with the sense of humor in heaven trying to grab your attention. I've had it, and I still get it. It still freaks me out. You think I'd be used to it now, but my father, who's been passed on well over 10 years now, will roll up and down my car windows. My car windows are electronic, and that's my car is not even turned on. And then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, my car is possessed. So I'm like, Angel, what's going on? And the angel's like, relax, it's your dad. I'm like, oh yeah, I knew that. I just forget. I go right into a panic. And I know, and I still go into automatic. Oh my God, my car is possessed. What's wrong with my car? It's turned off and the windows are going up and down. And it's dad. They like to play with electricity. So it's actually electronics. It's a good thing.
That would freak me out if I know my car is off. I'm
turned off.
is turned off and I saw the windows go up and down,
Windows up and
I would freak out. I
And I
really would.
still do. I mean, like, it happens usually a couple times a year, and I still freak out, go right into panic mode for the first few seconds till I go to the angels going, "What's going on?" They're like, "Come on, Karen, you know this. It's your dad." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I know. I forget because I go into panic at first when that happens."
Did your dad have a sense of humor?
Yes, he does.
There you
Ones
go.
who have a sense of humor love working with electricity, right? They do.
Yeah.
So I tell people embrace it because they're good. The only thing that's a nuisance to me sometimes when I'm doing private sessions with mediumship is that
Right.
because I am working with energy with the deceased, is that can mess up when the people are trying to record the session and it messes it up. Like the recording doesn't always go through, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't get it all recorded." I'm like, "Nah, I tell you, you can record it all you want, but good chance it's going to get messed up because I'm dealing with energy here, and it messes up that type of thing too." So that's annoying for people.
Has it ever happened to you where somebody has come to you for your work as a medium and asked you to communicate with someone on the other side, and you get the message, "Hey, I don't want to talk to them"?
No, not ever. Not
Really?
ever. Not. Yeah, people ask that. They're like, "Oh, I wonder if they're going to come through." I'm like, that is the opposite. I have to control it because I have never, and I've spoken to tens of thousands of dead people, not ever had one dead person say, "I don't want to talk." Some in my experience can be quieter than others, and that's normal. Because if they're quiet in their lifetime, they're not going to be catty normally in heaven either. Or if they've been deceased for 20 plus years, they tend to be a little quieter. But if I ask them questions, they'll talk. But I've never had flat out someone say, "I'm not talking." I have occasionally have them say, "I won't talk about certain subjects" when my clients ask. Like, delicate questions will come up. Someone will say, "Oh, I found out that I've got a half sister from my dad that we just learned about, and does dad want to talk about it?" And Dad's like, "No." Okay, well, there we go. And other times they will talk about it too. Most of the time they will, but occasionally I'll get, "I don't want to talk about that," and so I honor it and I move on to the next subject in the conversation. But they'll never not talk. That's just absolutely does not happen at all.
So how do you control who comes in and who stays out? Because I'm sure once the other side realizes that you have the ability
Yep.
to communicate, everybody just wants to have a chat session with you. How do
Everybody
you control it?
Oh my God, tight controls. That's why I work at a professional level. I have tight controls. So first of all, during a session, I ask my client, "Who do you want me to speak to?" Because I ask God to bring them in one at a time. So I try to control by saying, "Let's just bring them in one at a time. You want me to speak to 3 people today? Tell me the first person. I'll ask God to bring them through. Everyone else has to be quiet. They got to shut up. I don't want to hear them." Because I pick up on them. I hear them. They're all trying to crash in. And then other times I literally have to tell them, "Be quiet, stop interrupting. I'm trying to focus on one person at a time." Otherwise, it gets confusing with the messages as to who's saying what. And it's like a 3, 4, 5-way conversation, which that's a lot mentally on me trying to weed through all that information and words all at the same time. So I basically I let God and Archangel Michael control that, and I tell the dead people what to do, and I also threaten them. I'll say, "Look, you don't smarten up, I'll cut you off, and I'll tell God to take you away, and I'll stop talking to you," and that usually settles them down enough to stop interrupting so much so I can focus on who I'm talking to.
Have you ever had anyone from the not so nice realm try to interfere with what you're doing?
I haven't, but again, as a professional, I know how to handle that to make sure it doesn't happen. I say a prayer at the beginning of all my sessions that it is divinely guided and protected. And with dead people, I'm very, very careful because I would never allow just any dead person to come through. I have boundaries that the angels, Archangel Michael and God have for me in place that they enforce, including that I can't inadvertently invite in a negative dead person. So if a dead person, they've crossed over, but they kind of chose to be in a little lower level vibrationally, and I don't want to talk to them. They're disruptive souls. I don't need that in my session. If that were to inadvertently happen, and I say, "Hey, bring in this person," the angels are like, "Hey, look, that person's in lower vibrational level that you've asked us not to bring through. Do you really want me to bring them through?" I'm like, no, keep them away. Don't bring them through. didn't realize they're low vibration, don't want them near me, disrupting the session at all. Yeah, so again, tight controls and a lot of very specific intents for that.
How does someone get to know who their guardian angel is?
I tell people, you want to get to know, go hang out with them every day. Take a minute, hang out with them, and just say, guardian angel, you and only you, and I don't want anyone else, just you, so I can get a feel for you, and hang out with them and just trust what comes to you. And in time, with practice, and it is a lot of practice, that's what I had to do to fine-tune my skills. It was practice and practice and practice and practice. Just hang out with them and ask them to hang out with you. You'll feel them. You'll start to hear them, but you got to take the time, even if it's only for a minute, to do so. That's how you get to know them. And then the other thing is hang out with them and ask them for help in your daily life, because the more you ask for help, the more you get familiar with their energy and how they can help you.
So they want you to ask for their help.
Yes, they do. Yeah, both your relatives in heaven and divine beings, because of free will. So they absolutely want you to ask for help, and it makes your life a lot easier. When I started to learn that spiritually, I had no qualms about bothering the angels. Some people think, oh, aren't you bothering them? I'm like, well, no. First of all, you're trying to put a human trait on a divine being, so no, you're not bothering them. I didn't think that. I'm like, I'll bother them all day long, no problem. If it makes my life easier, I'm gonna. So I do. And when I realized it helps, I was actually quite surprised how much it helps me. Then I never stopped. Every day throughout the day, I'm asking the angels or my loved ones in heaven, my relatives in heaven, to help me out with things. Yeah.
I would imagine, because of your past professional life as a nurse and a member of the military, that when it comes to dealing with children on the other side, it must be hard for you.
Yes. Yeah. Kids, that's tough. That's tough. The grief anyway, but one of the hardest griefs for me when I'm communicating with dead people, it is children. It is. I can, talk to your dead mom, dad, grandpa. I mean, look, they're old, they died. That's natural. Yeah. But to talk to a child that's passed on, and I'm talking to the parent, that's emotional for the parent. I find it hard. It's emotional for me too. Very much emotional when it's a child. Yeah.
You must be exhausted after a session. How does Karen take care of Karen?
Yeah, I do a lot. I have very strong daily spiritual practices into place so that I don't burn out, because I burnt out in the past as a nurse. That's not fun. I don't want to ever go back to that space. So I do a lot to take care of myself. But even after each session, very specifically, I ask the angels to help me cut the cords, which means releasing the negative energy from the session or the emotions that could be coming up within me that I'm feeling during a session, because it can be so emotional what people are talking about. Then I'm picking up on their emotions, so I tell the angels, okay, I can tell my clients have intense grief or pain or anger. I get that, but I don't want to take it on, so don't so I'm very conscious. Don't take it on. Feel it, understand what they're going through, but don't take it on personally, because I'll be a wreck by the end of the day if I did that. So I have very strong spiritual practice, but even health practices, eating healthy, working out, fresh air, like all that. I'm so particular about following good physical, mental, spiritual practices. Otherwise I can't effectively do my work. I would burn out, and I wouldn't be as good in my work if I didn't have those practices into place.
Karen, you and I have to take our break at the bottom of the hour. Please stand by. And Exonation, our guest this hour is Karen FORREST. She's the angel lady in Prince Edward Island. She has 4 books out, right, Karen? 4 books?
Yeah, 4 published books. Yeah.
And I believe they're available on Amazon and other fine online.
Amazon and Chapters, yep.
And you and I will be back on the other side of this break as we continue right here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. I'm Rob McConnell. Don't go away. And welcome back, everyone. Karen Forrest, the Angel Lady, is with us all the way from Prince Edward Island. By the way, we talk about Beautiful Mind Coffee here on the show, and Beautiful Mind Coffee is actually roasted and packaged at Clyde River in Prince Edward Island.
It's just down the road from me. I had no idea.
There you go.
There we go.
Karen, how does somebody know if their house is haunted by a ghost or a spirit? Or when it comes to this kind of activity, it's one and the same?
Yeah. It can be different. If it's a ghost, in my terminology, a dead person who hasn't crossed over, it's typical signs, because I do a lot of house clearings for people, but you'll feel very uncomfortable in a certain part of your house where you just will not want to hang out at all. It will feel cold. It feels creepy. You might be seeing like dark shadows. You'll sometimes people will hear things like banging or clanging, kind of rather disruptive noises are more indication of a ghost. Or if it's a nicer spirit, like your passed on grandma type thing, what you feel, that's the opposite. That feels good. Those ones I don't take away from your home, they stay, right? You feel peace, you feel loved, you feel relaxed, you feel happy, you feel comfort, you can feel their presence, you feel at ease. So if it's someone you're comfortable with and it's a loved one from heaven or an angel, you're going to feel relaxed. But if it's a ghost, not pleasant feeling. Often in your own body, you'll feel tense or nauseous or knotted up when you have a earthbound spirit or ghost in your home.
So how would somebody have this presence leave and let them get back to a normal, peaceful life?
Yeah, that's where they often hire me to do house clearings. It's not always easy. I can tell people the very first step, really the main step, is go to a divine source like God, angels, pure love, pure light, whatever term you want to use. But go to a divine source and ask a divine source to get rid of that negative presence. Do not ask that negative presence to leave on their own, because that's like asking a burglar coming into your house to please leave. They'll like, yeah, no, I don't think so. Don't want to. And that will be the attitude of a ghost. But if you bring in a divine source, that's like the police coming in and saying, no, you're going to leave.
Yeah.
You're going to leave. So I tell people, please invoke a divine source. Don't try to do it on your own. Don't tell them to leave without a divine source overseeing that. It's just easier, more effective.
Do religious artifacts in the house help protect the house? For example, people have
No. What it does though is it helps people invoke a divine source, which then can lead to protection. But the physical object means nothing. But if people use the physical object to connect it with a divine source, that I get that's common with people. That's fine. But the object itself. No. It's using an object to connect with a divine source through your own way. Yes, that works.
How about holy water?
Same thing. It's you can bless it all you want. It's still holy water. But if you're sitting there and going, okay, through this holy water, I'm invoking God or Jesus, well, the fact you just invoke God and Jesus is what's going to help you. It's not the physical holy water itself.
Now, I understand that you do saging. So how does that work?
Yeah. I'm still, even when I use that, because to me it's still an object here on earth. It's from the earth, but I still invoke a divine source. So when I do use sage on a regular basis, I like to smell it. It's a form of clearing. It's not the only way, but it's one way. But even then, when I'm saging, I'm still invoking the angels or God or Jesus or a divine source to work through the sage to do the clearing that I'm asking for. So I don't never just use the sage by itself and run around with sage doing this. Is like, no, I'm doing that with the angels with me, using the sage as a sacred object.
Why is it that some ghosts go to the light, cross over, and others remain?
Yeah, my experience, that's a good question, because when I start working with ghosts, I start to learn the two main reasons I found when I'm helping ghosts cross over into the light when I do clearings. One is addictions. If the human had an addiction when they're alive, they might not be ready to give it up, so they hang on to earth, because in heaven they're not going to have that addiction. And they're like, yeah, I'm not ready to give up that addiction, so I'll go find somewhere where the addictive behavior takes place, or attach myself to someone who has the same addiction. And the other one, which is really sad, and very sad when I see this, but it's so common, is people are afraid to cross over because they're afraid of being judged. That they might have learned in religion that you're going to go to hell and you're going to be judged, and they're like, "Oh my God, I wasn't perfect in my life, and I don't want to go to hell, and I don't want to be judged, so I'm just going to stay here." And I'm like, "Oh no, for heaven's sakes, go to the light! Like literally go to the light. Well, you're not going to be judged." So it's fear, judgment, and addictions are the two common things I've noticed.
How can people improve their intuitive abilities?
A million different ways. There's so many ways. That's where I tell people sit down and work with what works for you. Some people, it could be something as simple as listening to music. I'm not a musical person. It's not my thing. But for some people, listening to music helps increase their vibrations, which means then you can also, you're more intuitive the higher your vibrations are. Other people, it's go out for nature. It's what the doctor tells you, the same darn thing to stay healthy, right?
Sure.
Get outside, go for a walk, connect with nature. That I do. For me, it's the beach and swimming. That's my connection. That raises my vibrations, which makes me more intuitive. But then I also do things, spiritual tools, like I ask the angels every day, clear and balance my chakras. That takes like a whole minute of my time every day. And then sometimes it's things like taking time to just meditate for 1 minute to help release some of the heaviness in my head. So I encourage people to do that. But there's so many ways, and I do it in many different ways so I don't get bored too. But basically, it's looking at a lot of what any family doctor would tell you to do to stay healthy. It's what some of what I used to say as a nurse: eat well, go exercise, get fresh air. That all increases your intuitive abilities.
All right, Karen, stand by. We've got to take our final break for this hour. Exo Nation, Karen Forrest is our special guest, KarenForrest.com. And we'll be back as we wrap up tonight's show here in the X Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell, from our broadcast center and studios in St. Catharines, Ontario. Now, if you'd like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, and on all social media sites, X Zone Radio TV. And we are on channel 32 on Simul TV on the X Zone TV channel. For more information about Simul TV and how you can watch us 7/24, 365, we have movies, we have documentaries, we have interviews, we have a whole bunch of wonderful things. That's at www.simultv.com, channel 32, the X Zone TV channel. Don't go away.
So I was watching the X Zone TV channel last night when I was abducted by aliens, and they kept repeating to me over and over again, simultv.com, simultv.com.
What's simultv.com?
That's what I asked them. They had it written on the side of their UFO.
How do you spell that?
UFO.
No, I mean simultv.com.
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 Right. simultv.com.
Interesting that you were abducted by aliens in a simultv.com UFO last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I remember now last night I was awakened from a deep sleep. My great-grandmother was standing there. She said she come from the hereafter to tell me about simultv.com. She even spelled it out for me.
simultv.com, sonny boy.
simultv.com.
simultv.com, sonny boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, you'll never guess what my psychic guru just told me.
simultv.com.
Exactly. Are you guys psychic too?
Of course.
We all know about simultv.com. simultv.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Karen Forrest is my guest, KarenForrest.com. First of all, Karen, I want to thank you ever so much for joining us tonight. Always a great pleasure talking to you. Has there ever been a time doing what you do, whether it's talking to dead people, talking to your angels, helping people with a paranormal situation that they've gotten themselves into for one reason or another, has there ever been one thing that has just shocked the living heck out of you?
Yeah, there's been a few, especially more with ghosts, with like Earthbound release been and doing house clearings. The rest is not so shocking to me. But I remember one time when I was doing, it was a church clearing. It was the worst clearing I've ever done, like the worst. And it was a Catholic church, the church my parents were married. For heaven's sakes, didn't know what was going on. The worst. It was horrible. And I was shocked because I'm used to doing clearings. So I've got training in it. I've finally got to do it. But what was shocking is, because it was a church, how much on the land and in the church that it felt like, I don't like to use this term, but demons. Like, it felt demonic. It was horrible. It was horrible during the clearing, to the point that Archangel Michael shoved me to the side, basically, and said, you're not standing as close as I normally would be. Normally, I vision myself right in the clearing, and they're like, no. And I'm like, I don't want to be there. It was like I was watching a horror movie of demons and zombies. It was crazy, 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 crazy. Like, crazy, horrible stuff. Yeah. And
so who took the lead on the clearing there? Archangel Michael or yourself?
Oh, it's not me. I get paid for it. I take the money. They do the work. I just facilitate it. You don't want Karen Forrest doing it. No, my vibrations aren't high enough. No, it's my intent is always a divine source clears. I facilitate the process, including earthbound releasement. No, that was God and Archangel Michael. And it was Archangel Michael that shoved me out of the way and said, stand back. And I'm like, oh my God, this is nuts. I've never seen anything like this before, ever. And I've done lots of clearings. Yeah.
Karen, what are your final thoughts and words of wisdom for the Exo Nation tonight?
What I really encourage people to do is have fun. Just like have fun with working with their angels and their loved ones in heaven. It's not meant to always be serious. When I'm talking to angels, they have a sense of humor. So does God. So a lot of times when I talk to them like I would a friend. So I tell people, relax, chill out. The more relaxed you are, the easier it is to get the messages. But just if you want to feel them, receive them, or talk to them, just chill out, sit down for a minute, invoke one person at a time so it doesn't get confusing who you're hanging out with, and hang out with them.
Karen, do you give courses?
I do. I do workshops, and a lot of my training is one-on-one and private mentorship with people.
And if people would like to contact you to take a course, how would they best do that? Through your website?
Through my website, KarenForrest.com. You can opt into my email list to find out what I'm doing in your area, and then any events are always updated on my website.
Super. Karen, as always, a great pleasure talking to you. Thank you for everything you do. And once again, thank you for your service.
Thank you. It's a pleasure tonight.
Take care of yourself. Get some sleep, my friend.
Yes.
Good night, Karen.
Thanks.
Oh, Karen, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Say hello to the angels for me.
I will. I'll say angels and all your loved ones who love to talk. I can feel them.
Take care, Karen. Blessings to you and yours.
Thanks.
And that's it, Exo Nation. Another night here with three fantastic people. We had in our first hour Jennifer Mag. Second hour, we had Becky guide us in. And of course, this last hour with our good friend in Prince Edward Island, Canada, the one and only Angel Lady. And of course, that is Karen Forrest. Now, I'll be back tomorrow night at 10 o'clock as once again we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X Zone. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. To my studio producer, the one and only Craig West, thank you, my man, Mac Alexander, our director of international programming, and my senior executive producer, my wife and my best friend, Laura. So get the coffee on, honey. Make sure it's Beautiful Mind coffee because I'm coming home. And of course, until tomorrow, remember, my friends, always keep your eyes to the sky and your heart to the light. From everyone here to everyone out there, good night, everyone.
Question: what is the name of the unique blend of coffee you get that has been formulated by a neurologist, a neurobiologist, and a pharmaceutical chemist? Answer: you get Beautiful Mind coffee, a unique coffee blend that tastes great and has herbal ingredients that your brain will love, and it is not just coffee, it's brainalicious. Dr. Rathbone, Dr. Jang, and Dr. Winslow, the scientific team that created Beautiful Mind coffee, decided to collaborate on a coffee focusing on brain health. As for those herbal ingredients found in Beautiful Mind coffee, Dr. Rathbone, Dr. Jang, and Dr. Winslow, utilizing their combined extensive scientific research background, worked with many natural and herbal products until the exact formulation that is found in Beautiful Mind coffee was created. With a unique scientific formula not found in any other coffee being sold or served, Beautiful Mind coffee is the only coffee blend that contains 3 herbal ingredients found to aid in boosting your daily mental clarity and focus. Every cup of Beautiful Mind coffee contains scientifically formulated amounts of maca root powder, green tea extract, and American ginseng, all supporting good brain health. Taking care of your brain's health now can help delay or prevent the onset of cognitive dysfunction, including dementia, Alzheimer's, and more general memory loss as you get older, just by enjoying the delicious flavor of our roasted coffee and herbal ingredients found exclusively in Beautiful Mind coffee. Did you know that cognitive dysfunction also refers to deficits in attention, verbal and non-verbal learning, short-term and working memory, visual and auditory processing, problem-solving, processing speed, and motor functioning? For more on Beautiful Mind coffee, the 3 scientists who formulated Beautiful Mind coffee, and more details on the 3 unique herbal ingredients in Beautiful Mind coffee, visit www.beautifulmindcoffee.ca. Beautiful Mind coffee is now available online at amazon.ca and amazon.com. To order Beautiful Mind coffee, visit www.beautifulmindcoffee.ca today.